not exactly hidden. After Terifus and Koga exit the dueling arena, it's already filling back up with the next spar. The floodgates are thoroughly open and everyone wants to see if they can do better than the princess and sorcerer. Tyr leads Koga back to where their dishes are still floating, and Koga smirks at the tiny sign placed in the middle of his plate. Danger, highly toxic fare, he reads out loud with a smirk. A bit of an exaggeration. Terifus notes, and Tyr giggles as Koga reaches out and then tucks the sign into his collar and shrugs. Maybe, maybe not. Care to test it? Koga asks in a teasing tone as he takes another little touch of finger food that has a decent amount of the false wasabi on it. Perhaps if you wash it down first, Tyr asks as she reaches under her floating plate and revealing that there is a cup holder there. She hands him back his wine. Perhaps, Koga says, taking a sip. He then takes another one and washes everything down as much as he can. Then Tyr plucks out the sign and uses it to lever him a little closer. Then there's a slight peck on the lips from her. "Ma'am," Koga begins, "if you weren't trying to woo and wow me, then you've done a very bad job of it," Tyr says simply. She goes in for another kiss and he makes no move to stop her. "Are you sure?" Koga asks her after she pulls away and she grabs him by the back of the head, and this one involves tongue. "Yes," she says simply before hugging him at the end. There's some light applause from Terifus. After a moment, she turns to the newly crowned battle princess. "You want in?" "What?" Koga asks. "It's how things are often done, human. That Vernon friend of yours is an odd one with an odder girl, but a noble woman having both a husband and a powerful sister-wife. It would be stranger if I wasn't looking to bring in a powerful sister after seducing you." "Am I seduced yet? We seem to be missing some steps," Koga asks in a very amused tone. "Well, we can't exactly get to the more robust parts of seduction. This is a lower-end party after all, and it wouldn't do to be, well, so exposed. But afterwards, you will be my guest for the night, I hope?" Tyr asks, and Koga leans down a little and offers a kiss on her brow. "Yes," he answers, and her face lights up in response. "Although a fair warning, I'm very much a peasant and descendant of peasants. You're a sorcerer. You're outside all the petty court intrigue and power plays. Even Duchess Salm would struggle to touch you should you desire something. The only apuk that is truly above a sorcerer is the Empress, and only through sheer martial force." Terifus offers up. "A martial force she only has because of battle princesses like me. We're the best that the common apuk can become, and the Empress only has her strength by refining it against our own." "I've never seen her fight. Is she really that much more powerful?" Koga asks curiously. "It's said she can make a battle princess look like a common guardswoman. She's the only apuk known to be able to match a sorcerer without question." "Well, that would explain why Morgarkan respects her so much. From what I understand, she personally stopped him during his rampage. I saw it years ago. I was just a child, but one moment the entire city was shaking as a madman laughed, and the next he was face down in the rubble and out cold with the Empress standing above him. It was only after that her battle princesses actually arrived." "Really? From the way Morg tells it, he only hit the office building his target was in. Well, when he hit that building, it was hard enough to shake an entire city. It's no wonder that the Empress arrived in less than a minute. She must have felt the shaking from her palace," Terifus remarks. "I remember thinking it was so strange that so little happened to him after. What could happen? Even out cold and alone, a sorcerer can be brought to safety in an instant. I don't even have to will it to happen. If I'm helpless and in danger, the wood will protect me and bring me under its boughs to protect me. The dark forest doesn't sleep. It doesn't look away. It is," Koga explains. "Because that's not terrifying," Terifus says lightly. "And your tail is still twisting," Tyr teases her. Terifus stiffens up and seems to blush. There's a cheer from the crowd as whoever's dueling now does something they like. Koga can vaguely remember similar reactions to his own duels, but he was focused on the fights and not on the gawkers. There's a shifting of things, and Koga looks around as the crowd seems to distort and the music changes somewhat. The birthday girl is approaching. Tyr looks up and seems like a deer in a headlight. Koga's hand is on her shoulder and she calms down. "Hello, madam. May we help you?" Koga asks, and she seems to just study him for a bit. "May we speak?" Alara Sam asks him. He looks to Tyr. "Alone, please?" Koga's mind races and he realizes that this could go in any direction. But the one thing he really can't do is refuse. Not without a lot of consequences on a lot of people. Sure, he can get away clean. But if this blows up, he can't get everyone out. "Very well, may I know what this is about first?" Koga asks, and she blinks as if not expecting the answer. "I just wish to speak," she says. "About?" he probes. "Some questions, that's all," she says. "Very well. Outside, please," Alara Sam continues. "You okay with this?" he whispers to Tyr. "Not much of a choice. Go with her, it'll be fine." She answers and Koga nods. "All right then, lead the way," Koga says, and Alara Sam nods before walking off. He follows a few steps behind. Noting that her tail has had tiny gemstones on axiom ride rings secured around it like lace. Her family traits have a few small spikes up its length that are used to secure the jewelry. He absently wonders if the differences in horn and tail were cause for war in the past, like bone structure and skin were for humans. Probably, the Apuk were fairly warlike then and even now are almost bloodthirsty at times. The dueling pit was a good example of that. An unending stream of compliments are paid to the birthday girl as she leads him to a pair of doorways that open in front of her and lead into a shimmering garden filled with hundreds of different night-blooming flowers. "Follow me, please, sorcerer," Alara Sam says as she leads him into the garden and then takes a left turn, followed by a right. "This way." She leads him into a maze, but whatever's going on, he's going to be ready. His every step into the garden is spreading the strength of the dark forest. The further she leads him in, the more power she gives him. There is concern from beyond, and he sends assurances through the woods. Whatever's going on, there's no knives out and no apparent threats, but he's being cautious. Then finally, they both come to a dead, and Alara Sam turns around. Her expressions has completely changed, and she seems almost pleading. Are you really a sorcerer, even though you're an alien?" "I am," he says, reaching to the wall of the hedge maze, and it reaches back. "By the wood's blessing, I am." "Then you could, it can, no, that's not the right thing to ask." Alara stammers out before growing withdrawn. Her dress and hair may be radiant, but she's all but shivering in front of him. He takes a step forward. "No," he stops. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked you to come out here," she says softly. "What's wrong?" He wasn't sure what way this whole encounter would go, but he wasn't sure where it was going either. It's stupid. I'm just an idiot," she says and turns away from him. She doesn't know that the forest has already spread to the entire maze by this point, so as she whispers to herself, he hears it clearly. "I have so many blessings. This is just being selfish. I need to just count my innumerable blessings and there's a tiny choked back sob. Then she turns in shock as Koga's hand reaches her shoulder. She staggers away. "No, it shouldn't, ma'am. Something is troubling you and you're not sure if you should ask for help. That's the time you should always ask for help. Human or Apuk, we are social creatures. We need other people to help us. How can I help you?" "You can't," she says. "I'm sorry for wasting your time. Can you just... I need to be alone for a bit." "Very well," he says. I'll be back where you found me if you change your mind, madam. Then he walks back to the entrance of the maze and leaves. His steps are quick and long as he tries to put things together. Home issues, personal issues. The birthday girl isn't leaving the maze. She's just standing there and letting an enormous amount of emotion cross her face. "What do you think, guys?" Koga asks into the woods. Smothered and looking to get out from under a very strong thumb. Bernard sends into the dark forest. She's clearly drowning in guilt. Look at the way her tail is twitching. That means out of control emotions in many a pook, Brinchar adds. What does she have to be guilty of? The girl hasn't done... Oh, that's it. Dale sends into the link. "Keep talking," Koga orders him. She's like Jeff, but on an even bigger scale. Smothered, completely drowned under the whims of an overbearing mother. If she was a male, she likely would have made the run at the woods already, and the Psalm Duchy would be in a lot of chaos. Dale sends in, and Koga nearly winces. The idea of a pissed-off sorcerer hitting this party would certainly be a headliner. "Oh great, just great," he says as he enters the hall. He knows there's no duel on the moment because the music has gone back to ear gouging. "Hey, we have a bit of a problem," Koga says as he rejoins Uthtir. "Has she proposed? Is she trying to... She wants to run," Koga answers. "With you?" "Away. Best I can tell, our birthday girl is drowning in her mother's love and is about to break down entirely. She tried to ask me things 6 or 7 times and couldn't get it out. She's still in the hedge maze and just trying to..." Koga explains before pausing as Alara Sam gives out a muffled scream of frustration. "Deal with it. Badly. I think I need to talk to the Duchess before someone gets killed in the night." "You think she might hurt her mother?" Terryfoos asks in a terrified tone. "I think she might hurt herself to get away," Koga says, and both women look horrified. "I've imbued the power of the dark forest into that maze, so I'll be able to keep an eye on her and stop her from hurting herself. But the sooner we get people to speak like adults and reason things out, the better." "Right. We'll go with you. With all 3 of us, we should be able to at least get the Duchess to give us a few moments." "Is she even on the floor? I'd have expected her to confront me about speaking to her precious daughter by now," Koga says before scanning the room. "How is the girl doing? If I wasn't the magical force keeping watch over her now, I would swear Alara Sam is possessed. She is not well and throwing a silent fit." Koga answers. Ace Terry's eyes widen a little further before stealing into a look of resolve. "Right. Time to just hijack the attention of one of the most powerful nobles my species has ever produced and speak to her about how her lack of mothering skills is about to cause her child to break down. Just a normal day with normal drama around you humans, isn't it?" "You should see the exciting ones," Koga replies, and she snorts.